I really have a, but I really think that it's too much gender stereotyping. I've met enough girls that are bold and will go out and get it, and I know enough boys who will be timid. I think we should, while from a funding perspective, I do agree that when taking on large responsibilities, to Rashmi's point of saying, I can do something small, can I make it really big? That tipping point, I think, is a difficult one for a lot of women to navigate. But I don't think it's that common in professions to find women that will come up and do that.
What's your take on it? Yeah. So, taking from everyone, it is very important that how do we, we believe in ourselves or not. I think every woman is capable of doing anything they want if they believe in it. Taking point from her that we have built the organization with women who are not qualified to do that. That itself says that if we want, we can do anything. Women are capable of learning anything, and God has made us like that. The multitasking which is there in the genes enables us to do lot many things which obviously the way men is made, they cannot do it. The more important thing also is that today all the women need to have a voice, and also women are it's very important for women to understand that we are the ones who grow the men. And that is where it is important that we have a level playing field. As she spoke about, I have two boys, both of them know how to cook, and because all the time I have told them that, look, when you grow up, when you get married, you have a working wife, you have to be an equal partner, and you should not be dependent. So what is important?
The wife teaches you.
Sorry.
The mom teaches you. That's better, right?
Yeah, the mom teaches you. Absolutely, sorry. Mom teaches you, and the fact is that in today's, as we go into the, as we talk about young generation, etc., it is a fact that every women are going to work. And the fact is that they have to believe, but what a bigger change also has to come from moms, that they have to also educate their sons that, they have to be equal partners, they have to treat women with respect, they have to, support them in everything what they want. So clearly, where the women have to become instrumental is you grow the men, so you make sure that, they have the right value system, and they then bring it in supporting women.
I guess women have to help.
And second, one more small point, Harshada. One more small point, which I was talking to you. We see a lot of women leaving, whether it is to do with entrepreneurship or corporate world, leaving once they have children or once the children grow up. That is the time where, you have to take a call and believe in yourself that, look, you are capable of doing everything. When you have the conflict at that point of time, that is the time, if you win, you will be able to, grow in your career or, make your startup or make your business successful. So clearly, very important, all of us have ups and downs. At the time when we are having downs, we have to really believe in ourselves that we are capable of doing it. Thank you.
I just wanted to add really quickly, so I love these women because we really do believe that we are part of the solution, so the change starts with each and every single one of us. We were having this conversation with a teammate of mine, and it was interesting because he has a boy and he has a girl, and he said to his partner, his wife, there'll be no pink or blue in the house, everything will be yellow, these kids will be treated equally, there'll be no difference, yada yada yada. But with age and with society, automatically his daughter started playing with Barbie dolls and was a princess, and his son started playing with G.I. Joes and wanted to play with guns. And so society has a role to play as well. And I think sometimes we really need to be aware of what our reactions and our actions are, because we never know who we are talking to. So if we are going to make a shift, I think we as individuals, it does start with every single one of us, but we always have to be aware of who is listening, who is watching. Sometimes, because our society is so hierarchical, I think it needs to be more linear, because regardless of whether a person chooses to stay home and raise their kids, male or female, or whether he or she chooses to be in business and have somebody else come support the raising of the children, we should allow individuals to make those choices and support them. they're good decisions and we're not hurting individuals, people should support those decisions and allow individuals to make them. But we should not take the time to judge somebody else or say, oh, how could she do it or whatever else. And I think sometimes our human nature is to do that without even realizing it. Being a woman in politics, I agree with so many of the comments here. I had to be encouraged so many times to consider putting my name on a ballot. But I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think I could win. And even after we won and we made it to the cabinet table, and people would say, you don't have the qualifications, you know, you start thinking about those things.
Yeah.
But the dozens of people that told me I was great, that's not who I focused on and listened to. But that's the shift I'm trying to make in my life, is to remain true to who I am, where I come from, to listen to many different opinions. But the opinion that matters the most is the one that I believe.
Yeah.
So as long as I wake up proud of myself and I go over to bed proud of myself, I sleep good. But I will confess, I don't cook, but I can tell you when something's missing and I love food. So, thank you.
So I just wanted to add that I completely agree with her because while we have said that it's about your own self-confidence and not to have doubts, it's also about society. So in fact, as part of the foundation, we use films to bring about mindset transformation. And in one of the Anganwadis, I mean one of the places in a rural village, the teacher herself said that after seeing a film, as to how she has propagated a gender bias without knowing it. So she said that, when I used to serve the midday meal, we would automatically tell the girls to serve the meal and the boys would just, carry the heavy utensils. And all of them were like, 5 to 6 year olds. It wasn't like that. So it's about being aware of the biases that we carry because of our previous conditioning. And I think that is really important. How is it that I have worked in organizations like, I earlier worked at ICICI Bank, now Yes Bank, where there is complete equity. It's based on meritocracy. It's not based on, that you have to go out drinking to able to have your say or to be a part of certain groups or go out with the guys to. How is it so? I think it is about building the culture. In fact, in my earlier organization at ICICI Bank, they used to say that if your boss is not a woman, then your super boss had to be a woman. Because there was this whole culture based on meritocracy, and it was also based, even in Yes Bank, on policies that offer flexibility to women. And like you said rightly, it's very important to have role models. So the very fact that you had like an MD who's a woman, everybody knew that as a woman it's possible for you to become the MD.
Monica, I'm going to bring you on and change gears here. I want to focus on women in technology, and you've been doing that for a very long time. And when you were walking in, you said there are very few women actually in tech in your business, and of course, I'm hoping the number grows immensely in the coming years. How is it? Is it difficult? People don't take you seriously? They don't think women in technology really click together?
It's actually really interesting. You have the toilet all to yourself. Literally all the time. This is an advantage. But I think the bias for women in technology is that women are generally not good at numbers. They're not good at technology. And there's really not a lot that can change that either. Not to quote the infamous quote from last year, but somebody was quoted very high as a woman leader that women are not good at maths. So the fact of the matter is everybody is good at certain things. As far as technology in India is concerned, what people really forget is that there are fewer women who are engineers. There are only fewer women who actually take to the workforce, and the numbers keep dwindling. And this is not across just technology, this is across all sectors. But people tend to pick on women in technology in particular and say, where are the women? But the fact of the matter is, where are the women in general? Where are the women? It's 18%. In Delhi, it's 10% of women who actually work. People forget these numbers and generally pick on something which I find really uncomfortable, because what you're doing at this point is, because of gender diversity and inclusion, then making it difficult, because people who may, because of merit, have reached somewhere are then looked at it with a lens of, she's a woman, that's why she's there. Instead of, she deserves to be there because she brings something to the table. I think I have a problem with that. And as far as hiring of women in technology is concerned, I don't think the woman part is something that I really look at. But what I've seen instead happen to me is that people look at me and say, you're a woman, so you must be only looking at women to hire. And I'm like, not really, but okay if you say that. So I come from a corporate and I haven't really worked in startups, but I can tell you I've been at the receiving end of gender bias myself, where I was told that I'm not good enough to be a women's leader in technology because men wouldn't take me seriously. And I asked why. And he said, you're from Delhi, and which person from a tier 2 or tier 3 city would listen to you? I said, well, at the end of the day, I am actually doing that and more. But the fact is, you can't change people's mindset. So what you can do instead is make sure that women who are in the group don't leave. And women who are, when you're hiring, make sure that there are enough women candidates who you actually want to bring to the table as well, right? I don't think we do a good enough job of doing that.
We're not mentoring women enough.
We are not mentoring anyone enough. That's the fact. Men don't need mentoring because they think they're good enough. Versus...
There is a whole bro code.
It is a bro code.
There is a bro code. Somehow women don't have that, or we've not developed it, or we need to call it something really cool.
So I'll be very honest. I have a mentor, and I've never had a woman mentor. I've only had men mentors. I don't know what it is about that, but my mentor actually told me, thought like me as a woman, and said you can have a self-pity party for 5 minutes a day. In that, you can think you're the worst person around, you don't deserve to be here, think of yourself as an imposter. After those 5 minutes, if you ever raise your voice and tell yourself you're not good enough, I'm not going to mentor you again. And that's when I realized that that's what I need to do as well. So when I talk to women candidates, they're always asking me, how did you get there? And I'm like, well, I was born for success. My mother didn't kill me because at that time, feticide was, really, I'm born for it. So my mother made the choice. So what do you expect? And they laugh at that point, but that's the fact. So you need to bring this out with women, that they need to talk and ask and seek guidance when it's necessary. We don't ask enough. We don't ask for negotiated money, we don't ask for a promotion, we don't ask for a salary raise, we ask for nothing. And then we say we get nothing. So when we don't ask.
We need to start asking more. You wanted to add a point, Chandni.
Yeah. She asked for the money.
No, I just want to talk about this thing that you said. Like, I remember when I was 5 and my dad came to me and said, you can do anything that you put your mind to. He told me that. And it just kind of goes in when you're 5, it just goes inside into your DNA, you actually do believe that. And then he also told me that there is no difference between a man and a woman. He told me that when I was 5. And I actually grew up believing that. I had no consciousness of gender. I did not think I'm another gender and I have to sort of this. So I'm just saying that sometimes, so you will be sometimes fortunate that you had a voice in your head and you just blur that difference. And I have to tell you, I don't think I keep hearing these stories and I hear of discrimination. I don't think I've faced any. I don't feel it. I know it goes so contrary to everything that we're talking about, sounds. But I'm just saying, because I have no consciousness of that awareness, I don't feel that gender discrimination. I think the reasons that I lost out, I got a bad review, I couldn't get along, I couldn't negotiate, is because of entirely different reasons and not gender. There were other things that played out to that. And so I think we need to choose the voice in our head. Which is the voice in our head? So this is, if we haven't got a voice in our head, then we have to seek that voice that we choose to listen to. So it's not true that I can do everything, but I believe it. So I'm just coming back to that, and I said, these networking forums, men are great mentors. Like you said, I've had the most fantastic men mentors. I'm sitting here today because of my dad, for all the men, my brother, and everybody who mentored me, right? So many men. So I don't think it's about that. It's just that, what do we choose to believe and which way do we want to go with it? So I just wanted to add that, just to bring in that balance, because discrimination is as real as what you make of it in your head.
I wanted to add something in that. I think Chandni is bang on. I always say this, my father was in the army and he brought me up not as a woman, a girl or a boy. He just brought me up as a human being, and I'm so thankful about that, because I ended up believing that I was a pool of talent. Right? I have bosses today, and I know of people who didn't look at me as just another woman. And I think I've done, all my life, I've done stuff which ensures that I keep telling myself every single day in my head that It doesn't matter whether I'm a woman or a man. See, mentoring has no bias. Talent has no gender. So I don't see, and I think she's bang on when she says everyone needs mentoring. We just need to realize which one needs what mentoring on what aspect. That's about it. I think both men and women are great mentors and mentees. We just need to match and connect the dots, as Rashmi says.
I want to take this to another level and ask you ladies about, how do we, of course, we're all in a group, we are somewhat privileged, we've, worked hard, we've had great bosses, bad bosses, but we've gotten around doing what we're doing. But how do we spread the message? How do you get more and more women to be a part of this so-called culture where we want to build women to be, brave, go out there, ask the things that they deserve? How do we do that? You want to take a dig at it, Monica?
I've said that before, but I'll say it again. When I look to hire, I try to find more women candidates. I do that consciously, but I tend to swing on the pendulum as well. So what I've realized is now I want to go basis merit. But having said that, I offer myself, because I've had the privilege of mentorship, I offer to anyone who meets me, and I say, you want to be mentored, and I'll give you an hour. And trust me, all the men reach out. So the fact of the matter is, even when I've tried and attempted to do that, it's not really worked. So what I've started doing myself is just basically reaching out to at least the women in our organization, and whoever needs help or I feel that I can help, I do that. But on the sidelines, it's the teenagers who are in women in technology, in that layer is really important, which is called Girls in Tech. Because they are the ones who look at role models, and even if you just tell them what your career journey is or how you got there, and it can be a believable story. Everybody is not set out to be a NASA astronaut, really. And all of us have made it here via obviously a lot of lucky chances, but it's important to tell them what happened and how you got there. And I receive requests on LinkedIn all the time. I always make sure that if it's a woman, I always respond back. And I never even receive a thank you, which is really strange. So if you write to me, please say thank you sometime. It would be nice.
Anyone else who wants to add to that?
She said a very interesting thing. What is important is that, when you're confused or you are going through a stage whether I can do it or not do it, it is very important to share that how you were able to do it. Because women are capable. The issue is that when they get torn between 5 different things they want to do at the same time, and that is where somebody who has gone through it shares their experiences, and which has to be very basic and realistic, and that is where you can actually really help the women. And that is where what is important is that you tell them that how you have to create enablers around you to get all the job done, whether it is to do with children, whether it is to do with home, whether it's to do with anything.
I think I'm the luckiest, apart from Bardish, I'm sure, because I get to interact with a lot of women, again, as I said, different classes, different sects, different areas. And I think I also not only influence them, but I think I'm in a position where I can do a lot for them. So if you look at women based out of the village network, I think we as a government, now I'm talking as spokesperson of Bharatiya Janata Party and the government, that we have reached out to them for specific self-help group programs. So we have created programs, we have created bills, we have created policies around encouraging more and more women to come out. I always add this, and I want to add this. See, we are not biologically different. Yes, we are from men. But it is more a social and environmental thing, and that's what has been coming out across. Now, as far as social and environmental condition is concerned, it really is on the government and the community as a whole, people as a whole, to change the entire environment by creating enablers and platforms like this. I think these are enablers, these are platforms.
When you say that you have a lot of policies and all of that the government has created, we are aware of that. How many women are actually availing these policies?
You'll be surprised, but quite a few. Now, let's understand, we are sitting here as nearly the 1% of the population, and that's why a lot of people have said that we are the privileged lot, right? But you need to talk to people. There's still, today, while we are talking, there are 19 female infanticides which are happening in a place like Sangli. If you go to interiors of places like Bid, Satara, Latur, I visit them on a monthly basis, and I realize that there are women out there who are looking out for opportunities. Now, I always say this to women. See, it's easy to talk on a panel like this and say that, we need to encourage more and more women. But just go back and look. Your maid who comes to work for you in your house is actually a woman entrepreneur who's been handling the entire house because her husband is primarily just drinking and not getting anything back home. So she's taking care of herself, she's taking care of her house,